So we're continuing to learn about selectors. So rule sets have selectors. And the next selector we're going to learn about for a CSS rule set is the attribute selector. So over on our HTML page, we have tags. And those tags can have attributes. Well, can from our CSS we select certain tags based upon their attributes? The answer is yes. And the way we do that is just like this. So here are a couple examples. Like we could have the attribute right in there, content editable or source or href. And so anything that has the source attribute would then on the HTML page be selected. Or anything that has the href attribute would then over on the HTML page be selected. So that's how we select things, tags on the HTML page that have certain attributes. So this is like a less commonly used selector, but it's one that's handy, and when you see it out in the wild, if you don't know about it, you'll be like, what the heck is that doing? So I want you to know about it. And also it's one that comes in handy at times. All right, so let's take a look at our first one here in folder 019, and then in 004 attribute we have this example, the first one, and I'm going to open those two files and then just right click and choose split vertically to get my CSS over there on the right. And so now I have this one attribute, content editable. And over here on the HTML page, this paragraph tag has the attribute content editable. So if this CSS selector is selecting this HTML tag, it's going to take this text and make it red and put a 1-pix dashed black border around that text. So let's preview this page and see how that works. And you can see it made the text red and it put a 1-pix dashed border around that text, that entire paragraph, which is a block level element, which is why it took up as much width as it could left to right. So if I wanted to constrain that width, I would, apply some CSS settings to constrain that width. Content editable is an interesting attribute that you can add to a tag, because now I could click on that and I could change stuff. So it's a little tag, which is nice to know about. It's a little HTML tag, which is nice to know about, because as you progress and start doing other stuff, that's a nifty little tool to pull out of your back pocket and say, hey, we could just do content editable right there. And yeah, it's kind of fun, and most people don't know about it. All right, so the next thing is right here. So just another example of attribute selectors. And here we are selecting all of the attributes, all the tags which have a source attribute or an href attribute. And so here's content editable again, and that needs to be set equal to true. And then down here we have the, let's see, well, there's the href attribute. And over here we have the source attribute. So we should get different colors. Source is red, href is green. So let's preview this page and then go take a look at it. And so this one is red and this one is green. So red tells me the image uses the source attribute, and anchor tag uses the href attribute. So you can see how we've selected attributes. Pretty cool. All right, so the next one that we'll take a look at is right here, and just one more example of an attribute selector. So I'm going to right click, split vertically. So here's an element selector, and I've said for this entire body, right, everything in here, I want the font size to be 36 pixels and text align. I think text align is new for us. So text align will align text in the center, right? There's different choices, so we could do this, and see the different choices. So center, in, inherit, justify, left, match parent, right, start. Code completion is awesome. So text align will allow us to align text in the center of, an element, and font size is 36. And then we say target blank. So anything with target blank. So here we have target self, and here we have target blank. And so the difference here is this is not only selecting the attribute, but also the value that it's set to. And so only attributes that have this and are set to a certain value are going to be selected. And notice here that it's target equals quotes blank, and here it's target equals blank, no quotes. So just a little difference you have to account for. All right, so let's take a look at that. And so color red for anything that has blank, and the Google one, which is just HTTP Google, is red. So pretty cool. So those are attribute selectors, and that's how they work.